Good afternoon again, Computers for Kids, Semester 2 students. This next little video will be an introduction to Google Drive, and I know that some of you probably have some experience with it, so please bear with me. I just want to share a little bit about Google Drive just so students that are new to it can function and get around in the course a little bit. So Google Drive, and I'll just show you how you can access it first. Again, from the waffle icon or the tic-tac-toe icon, if you click on that, the Google Drive icon looks like this, sort of a three-colored triangle, the green, blue, and yellow. And by clicking on that, it will bring up, this is, here is the home screen for Google Drive. And what you can see here is it gives you what's called quick access. These are the files that I've most recently worked on. This is the actual file that I use to create the TV screen. Here's some junior university stuff, and then actually the lesson plan that the substitute teacher has today. Underneath that, very similar to a computer hard drive, you can see that there are a number of folders and then a number of files on here, ranging from pictures to files, that sort of thing. There's my Christmas list that I was working on, and so you can access these. One of the ones that you'll likely have, if I'm not mistaken, is one called Classroom, and Classroom gives you access to the various different classrooms that you belong to. That's actually where some of the files that will be created in this class will show up for you. And then I just want to share it with me. This is files that people have shared with you. So again, some of that will be stuff that I've shared with you. Recent is the most, just kind of gives you all of the files that you've worked on in a kind of backwards order. So starting with today, and then earlier this week, those files. There's Google Photos, and something called Start. And Start is interesting. This is where you can, let me just open something here. This was the Google Slide video that I used at the beginning of the school year. And the reason why it started was just so I could find it really easy at the time. But if you look here, here is the title, and then there's a little star there. And I can click that off and on. If that is on, then this file shows up in this list. If it is off, then if I refresh the screen here, oh, actually I didn't even need to refresh it. You'll notice that that disappears. I can click on it again, put the star back on, and if we wait a second here, it appears again. So very important, if there's something that you're working on quite regularly and you want to have quick access to it without having to go through all of the folders to find it, you can simply put a star on it and it will show up quite quickly in that section. So if you're working on it for a couple of weeks, then you won't need it again, for quite a while. Then you can take that star off and just you can search for it or find it by going through the folders subsequent times. So one of the things that I do quite regularly is I know that a lot of my files are in the folders, but it's really just easier to search for them. So if I'm looking for a certain document, maybe I'm looking for something having to do with the family dance, I can just type in family dance, and this is going to give me a variety of different folders related to that. So this one's some meeting notes that myself and some teachers took. This was actually some feedback. Here's some prices that we had on the food. This was a staff sign up for different jobs that teachers were helping with. This is a Google form to get some feedback from last year. And here is an RSVP that families filled out. So searching is a very good way to do it. It helps if you know maybe something that's in the title of the document, or within the document itself. You can also do kind of more of a specific search. You could say, well, I'm just looking for text documents, or I'm just looking for a presentation. It will make it a little bit easier for you. It'll narrow it down if you know what it is that you're looking for. If you don't, and typically it's not that I don't know what I'm looking for, I just know that any will work. Typically I leave it on any. The owner, that can be different. Could be something owned by you. That means that you originally created it. Maybe it's not owned by you. That's something that's probably been shared with you. You can even look for a specific person. So if you know that I've shared something with you, you can say, well, I know that it's something that Mr. Cole shared with me. I'm going to look for that. You can also look anywhere, or you can make it more specific. Just leave it on anywhere unless you need to maybe refine that search a little bit. Could be in the trash, could be starred, date modified if you know the last time you used it. The item name. So this would be the title of the file name. This is just the word Family Dance. So if there was just a document and it might have been called something else, so let's say it was related to the Family Dance, but maybe it was a song list that the DJ was using, and it was called Song List. And then in the actual file, it did say something like, these are the songs that have been requested for the Family Dance. Has the words Family Dance, it's actually going to look in the text of the document. Shared with, this would be if you'd actually shared it with someone else, and you could remember who that was. Then you could put that in here. And follow up, I've never used this before, but this is I'm guessing if someone has put in comments or that sort of thing, then you could put that in there. To be honest, I've never used it before. So there's just a few little features there. With the My Drive and then the folders, a lot of stuff that I keep is in here. So if I have, so here's some administration files. Because I used to work at Holy Spirit, I have one for that. And now I work at St. Martin, so I have one for that. And then there's a lot of folders here that have a ton of different things. Some of them are school related, so I won't go into too much detail here. But here's one. I know that there's not much in here, but this is just Rise Vision. This here is the current copy of what would be on the television screen. So I can just open that up for you just so you can see it. And we will work with Google Slides in a few weeks in this course, but you can just see here is everything there. So that's currently what's live on the screen. And then as my mouse just freezes a little bit, and then there is, actually this is an older one. We probably don't even need that anymore, but you might recognize that Happy Birthday logo from last year. So that is, that is Google Drive. It has some very similar features to just a regular file directory, which you would have on the hard drive of a computer. You can do a few different things here. I'm just going to use this Rise Vision Google Slide presentation just to show you some of the things you can do. You can preview it. I can open it with, typically, this will just say Google Slides. I have a few other extensions that are attached. I can share something. So this would be if I wanted to share a folder with other people. And I've actually done that with this particular file. So Mrs. Bond has access. Mrs. Sorkin has access. And the one group is actually the rest of our teaching, our actual staff. Everybody in the building has access to that and can include things. So you can share a document. It's great for collaboration. If you are working on something and you want a friend to edit it, to look through it, add some ideas, you're doing a group project, you're going to work on it together, that's a great thing to do there. And you can get a link, so you can actually, a shareable link is, you can get a link, send that out via email, and then other people can access it. So that's how that works. I can move this to different places. I could put it, so I can back up St. Martin's. Here's that administration files. Here's back to kind of the home directory. So I can move that wherever I want it. I can add a star. I can rename it, view some details, make a copy. I can download it. I can remove it, which would be like trashing it. So those are some of the things that we can do that would be very similar to a directory on a computer. Oops. So those are some of the features that Google Drive has, and it is giving me a few issues here. There we go. And so this is something that we'll be using to store files and that sort of thing. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of a rundown of Google Drive. You'll figure some of this out. For example, you'll notice that some of those links that I just showed you from the actual menu appear up here as well. So lots of different things for you to figure out. So we'll just stop it there. Perhaps what it would be good to do is maybe just the one thing I didn't show you is just with this new, here's where you can actually create some of that. So create a new folder. You can upload files from your computer. You can upload a folder that might have multiple things in it. A new Google Doc, a new Google Sheet, a new Google Slide. I'll certainly show you those in future classes. But just today, if you want to just kind of look, see if there's anything in there, you might want to just create a new folder, create a new Google Doc, just to see what happens to the drive as you add things, create new things, and you can try moving some things around. So just take a few minutes to do that, and that will pretty much wrap up today's class. I am going to allow the sub to give you some free time to go on to a appropriate math website or other learning website, and you can go to your Symbaloo, which has links to all of those things. So again, good luck with this today. I hope that you enjoyed the first class. It will get a little bit more in depth, but for this first class, we just want to make sure everybody has access to all of the different sites that we'll be using as we move forward. If you have any questions and you see me in the hallway, be sure to ask. You can always send me an email. You can just reply to the email that I sent you inviting you to the class, or you can simply type in my name, hit the compose button, and start typing in Dan Coles, and then I'll pop up there, and you will see this little icon right here that will tell you that it's me. So it just says Stay Golden, and it has a little Bitmoji icon of me. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon, and hopefully I'll see you at parent-teacher interviews tonight, or tomorrow during the day, or tomorrow evening at parent-teacher interviews. Don't forget to check out the book fair, and thank you very much. I will see you guys later.